Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Senior and Living Today. Today's discussion, again, is about our money and how we can protect it and things to look out for. It seems like people are coming after us and our finances around every corner. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is, mass in the media right now is the new downfall of the Silicon Valley Bank. So, that fell yesterday, and people went to go take money out of their bank accounts and their accounts were frozen. They could not see their statements. They could not draw any money out. Crucial, since it seems like the world doesn't want us to do anything with actual money anymore. Everything is digital. So if you can't see it online, then it's not there. Imagine if you're in the middle of a home buying process. What do they say? We need your last two bank statements. Who has those? Nobody, because they're like, it's saved in the computer. It's online. I can get it. Well, yesterday you couldn't. So if you're not printing those out, you're at the mercy of the bank if you need them at crunch time. So I encourage you to keep copies of your important records because we never know what's going to happen when. The people that don't have access to their bank account or money, they're being told that they will have access on Monday. Do we know if that's true? Not yet, we don't. So hopefully those people will have access. I can't imagine people on a Friday afternoon thinking, I'm going to get gas, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they don't have access to their bank accounts. Their cards don't work. Things that they're trying to do, transactions aren't going through. What if you were leaving town for the weekend, etc.? It's terrible. Anyway, we're hoping the best for those people. But since that happened, I want to encourage you today to make sure that you have more than one bank account. Maybe you have a bank account that your paycheck goes to, and have a separate bank that your savings goes to, or a separate bank that your side hustle money goes to, so that if for some reason something like this happens and you don't have access to your money for 3 days, you can go to the other bank and get enough money out to hold you over to do what you need to do for those few days that they say you won't have access. Some of the large companies that were affected by this, they're saying, are companies we've heard of like Lending Club. That's a huge company. Apparently, they had a lot of their money tied into this Silicon Valley Bank. Um, Another big company that most of us have heard of is Etsy. We're wondering what kind of complications they're going to have with this bank fall because they had a lot tied into this bank. So we're gonna hope the companies that were mixed up with them and the people that are mixed up with them, we're going to wish them the best while we're also doing what we can to protect ourselves. So try to have another bank account that is separate so that if something does happen to your bank, you have another option, another place to go, another debit card you can use, etc. So definitely keep that in mind. We want to do whatever we can to protect ourselves. Also, money wise, they are still lowering credit limits out there. So if you have a card that you have not used in a while, like I did, expect that notice to come saying we lowered your credit limit for lack of use. Um, I say for store cards like Nordstrom's, J.C. Penney, those kinds of things, just let them lower it if you're not going to use it because you can probably get a better interest rate if you're going to charge something with your credit card. And so usually those cards were opened up anyway because you went into one of those department store places and they said, well, if you apply for our card, you get 40% off today. So what do we say? We go, Okay, we'll do it. I'll take the 40% off. And they give you this limit and then you don't use it. And now they're upset you're not using it. And so they're lowering the limit. So keep that in mind. If you want to keep the cards, make sure you go out and use them, even if you buy a pair of socks, because otherwise they're all having financial problems and want to lower your limit to reduce their risk. So use your cards if you plan to keep them open. Um, but think about if you close the card instead of them just lowering the limit, if you close the card, it could affect your credit score. So you want to keep all that in mind before you make any moves. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is your credit score itself. It used to be that you could have a credit score that was a good credit score and it was good enough for a conventional loan. Well, I checked into that this past week and they have changed their scale for that. So now you almost have to have excellent credit to be able to qualify for a conventional loan. They have put the bar that much higher because the banks don't want the risk. So if you're planning on applying for a loan, not only should you be mindful of what your score is, but you also want to call around. They do have places that are basically mortgage brokers, and they will find the best mortgage place that has the best rate for what your score is and what they can get for you. Because if you take the first one, you might be paying an even higher interest rate, or they may just tell you flat out, our score for us, your score has to be here and your score is only here. So we can't work with you. We're only working with the elite, so to speak. So be aware of that. Call around. You might save yourself some money and some stress. The last thing I want to talk to you about regarding money is I have noticed lately that everybody is trying to rush you to make a decision. And what I mean is, you might get an email and say, this coupon is good for 24 hours, or someone will call you and say, we are offering you this insurance policy, but it's this much for today. If after tomorrow, it won't be that. I personally call that shark tanking. Because, like that TV show Shark Tank, you get 30 seconds to make a huge decision for your business. Who does business like that? Things for your business should be thought out. You should be mindful. You should take your time. You should contemplate all that goes into it. And they're like, you have 30 seconds, make a decision, or we can't work with you. So that's what I feel like when people offer you limited time to make decisions on things that are affecting your finances. I call that shark tanking, and I tell people, don't shark tank me, because the answer is no. What I learned from my grandmother was haste makes waste. You make a hasty decision, you could be wasting your money. So take your time. It seems like a lot of people are offering you these timed deals right now and tell you if you don't get it today, you can't have it. And I say, if you can't have it, then it wasn't meant for you. Watch your money, hang on to your money, and don't let anybody just quickly, run a deal past you and feel like you have to make a decision. So that's my advice for you today. If you have any advice for people, any comments of what's going on or things you would like discussed, please put them down below. I read all the comments, I respond to all the comments, and I look forward to seeing you back here again on Senior and Living Today. Goodbye.